Breaking news tonight in a Valley News Live exclusive investigation to begin to answer a question many of you have been asking. How did Marcus Schumacher, a convicted felon and the man believed to have shot and killed Fargo police officer Jason Mosier, obtain a gun? How did he do that? Well, we do not yet know how he obtained the gun, but we found out today, due to a change in North Dakota law, he was not prohibited from buying and owning a gun as a convicted felon. Good evening and welcome to 630 Point of View. I'm Chris Berg. Thanks so much for joining us. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive says Marcus Schumacher's rights were restored at some point by authorities here in North Dakota. And Valley News team Bradford Eric joins us now with this Valley News Live exclusive investigation. Bradford, first off, thanks so much for being here. Great work. Tell us what you found out today about the situation.
So we knew as soon as the situation happened in North Fargo, started digging into Marcus Schumacher's background a little bit. He had a prior felony conviction from 1988 where he was convicted of shooting and killing another man. So we knew he had a felony on his record. When you have a felony, it prohibits you from buying a firearm. So then that raises the question, well, how did he get this gun that killed Officer Mosier? Well, according to North Dakota law, when it was changed in 2011, he could legally obtain one and he would not have been flagged in any national database when they go to check when you're buying a firearm.
And just for clarity, you're not saying that he specifically went out and legally bought a firearm, but you're saying that opportunity is there for him because you're not saying that you know how he got that gun at this point.
We don't know how he got the gun. He purchased it legally. The ATF confirmed to me today that sometime in the last 5 years, a restoration of rights occurred in the state of North Dakota where a district court judge signed off on the petition of Marcus Schumacher, allowing him to have his full gun rights back and allowing him to legally purchase firearms.
And please clear this up if I misspeak on any of this stuff, but there was a House bill back in 2011, House Bill 1209 by Representative Dwayne DeCray. Talks about restoration of right to possess firearms. Here's the gentleman right here. There's a few pieces of this. I want to read one specifically and let you comment, Bradford. But at the end it says, in order to be able to obtain a firearm, you have to go to a district court. District court may restore your rights. But one of the added pieces was the individual's record and reputation are such that the individual is not likely to act in a manner dangerous to the safety of others. You spoke with former Representative DeCray today. What did he tell you?
Well, I asked him over the phone, why was this change made in 2011 to the Century Code? Allowing violent people essentially to have a gun again. And he said, he didn't know why. He couldn't recall why that this change was made, but he said it was widely supported at the time, which I believe, according to the voting record, it passed by a landslide in the legislature, and that it was just something that he wanted to work on back then, but ultimately some judge somewhere in the state of North Dakota signed off on this petition.
I know you reached out to the Attorney General's office as well today. What did you hear from them?
Crickets. There was nobody available today to talk to me. When I called the ATF today, they said, well, you have to go back to the court of jurisdiction where this petition was filed and where it was approved, and that the Attorney General's office should be able to help with that. So I called up the Attorney General's office, and nobody available to talk to me about this today. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens.
Disturbing, yes. Well, obviously you're going to stay on top of this. And just for clarity, to understand how this vote went down again back in 2011, I believe, the House vote was 76 yeas, 17 nays. In the Senate, 45 yeas, 0 goose egg nays. Would love to know your thoughts on the restoration of the possibility of convicted felons to get firearms here in the state of North Dakota. Bradford Eric, great job. If you want to find out more, go to valleynewslive.com to find out more about Bradford's story. He obviously will keep you abreast of what's happening here. Stay with us. Huge conversation today about should transgender students be required to use bathrooms and locker rooms according to their biological sex. Joining us next, the author of the bill in South Dakota, also a transgender woman, will share her point of view on this conversation as well. Would love to know your thoughts on this bill back in 2011, the Restoration of Firearm Act. I don't know if it was called that specifically, but along those lines, we'll be right back.